Chasing Amy.
Have you ever watched a movie you haven't watched in years and completely forgot how great it was? For me, that film is Chasing Amy. Chasing Amy was never one of my go to films, in part because I remember everything about it so vividly. But watching it as a whole after a long time, I was awestruck as to how fantastic this film was. It is a brilliant take on the romantic comedy that only someone like Kevin Smith could write. An achingly personal film, Smith lets it out all on the line. The film was written about his relationship with star Joey Lauren Adams, who still appears in the View Askew films to this day. Smith stated that Holden McNeil is the closest character that most resembles himself. The film is equal parts heartwarming, hilarious, and heartbreaking. Originally intended to star David Schwimmer, a pre-Daily Show Jon Stewart, and Drew Barrymore, Kevin Smith convinced Miramax to give him a paltry $250,000 to make Chasing Amy his way, with Ben Affleck, Jason Lee, and Joey Lauren Adams. The end result is a far better cast than the star-studded one the Weinsteins suggested. 1997 was a major turning point in the entertainment industry for the LGBT community. In April of 1997, Ellen DeGeneres used a sitcom to come out to the world as gay. That same month, Chasing Amy, a film that featured prominent LGBT characters, would be released to major critical acclaim. Chasing Amy is one of those films you could have only made in 1997. If you were to drop this film right now with Ben Affleck in the lead role, Banky's rampant homophobia, and the fact that this film centers around a romance between a lesbian and a straight white male, you would have numerous "this film is problematic" think pieces quicker than you could say Joker. Chasing Amy is Kevin Smith firing on all cylinders. The film opens up with some fantastically drawn comic book panels of Bluntman and Chronic, which then segs into a pre-superhero movie comic book convention featuring a pre-famed Casey Affleck mocking Banky for being a tracer. But it's within this scene we meet one of the most underrated characters in the View Askew-niverse, Hooper X. Hooper X starts off as an ultra-woke comic book artist debating Lando Calrissian, but Smith masterfully subverts his character by having him be a flamboyant homosexual. He also gets another great scene where he and Banky debate Archie Comics, which in turn probably inspired Riverdale 20 years later. One thing you notice about Kevin Smith films is that he casts actors who should have gone on to some sort of success, even if it's being fourth billed in a CBS sitcom. Dwight Ewell is one of those actors. His last acting credit was in 2011, and that's a damn shame. So let's talk about our three principal cast members. Straight out of the gate, Ben Affleck and Joey Lauren Adams have fantastic chemistry together. Both actors bring out the best in each other. For me, this was the role where I said Ben Affleck is a good actor. Yes, I know that's a controversial take in 2019, but it's the truth. I love Affleck's Holden McNeil. Through his performance, you know he's a bit of a douche, but you get why he has these feelings he does for her, and vice versa. One of my all-time favorite scenes is Holden's confession in the rain, where he just lays it out on the line and confesses his feelings. The way Affleck and Adams act out the scene is nothing short of fantastic. Which segs into Joey Lauren Adams' performance as Alyssa. Joey Lauren Adams is absolutely radiant as Alyssa, who may very well be the glue that holds the View Askew-niverse together. She made out with Gwen Turner of Mallrats, a funny little in-joke given that she is Gwen Turner in Mallrats. She was at Julie Dwyer's funeral, as was seen in the animated lost scene on the Clerks X DVD. She made out with Caitlin Bree. Her sister is Trisha Jones, who exposed Shannon, the owner of the fashionable mail, in Mallrats. Rick Darris plays a key part in her character's life. Oh, we're gonna get to that. I also love that Alyssa's character absolutely has agency, challenging Holden McNeil on the definition of losing one's virginity and having her own goals and ambitions. Then there's Jason Lee's Banky Edwards. Look, a lot is being debated about what is and isn't funny. You have Dave Chappelle's Sticks and Stones special getting trashed because Chappelle delivered some anti-PC comedy. Some of it lands and some of it doesn't. As I'm recording this right now, Joker director Todd Phillips is practically coming out as a conservative, saying that he is never doing comedy again because of, quote, woke culture, unquote. Banky Edwards is a character that works because he is the voice of reason. Yes, he may be homophobic, but he is frequently called out on it. At the same time, Banky is trying his best to not see his business partner's heart get broken. This is a role that could only be played by Jason Lee, a man who was a master at playing slime balls. The late 90s was a weird time in Hollywood when they were trying to make David Schwimmer a thing in Hollywood, because I'm pretty sure he was going to be the one who played Holden McNeil. I can't exactly see Jon Stewart delivering homophobic slurs, given that he would go on to host The Daily Show and recently helped get a bipartisan bill passed for 9/11 first responders. You could see why Kevin Smith cast this skateboarder that was a proto-Tony Hawk before jumping into acting. Jason Lee's face when he realizes he's in a gay bar still cracks my shit up. He nails every facet of this character. But the best performance of this film goes to Kevin Smith. The Chasing Amy story still gives me chills. The way Smith delivers this monologue with this aching and yearning, you feel Silent Bob's pain. If I were to take acting seriously, this would have been the monologue I prepared. It's that well written of a scene. So let's talk about Finger Cuffs, the most gut-wrenching breakup scene I've ever seen in a movie. Banky Edwards discovers that Holden wasn't the first man to ever get into bed with Alyssa. During the hockey game, you can cut the tension with a knife between Holden and Alyssa, right down to hearing an audible heartbeat in the background, which explodes as Alyssa angrily tells him that she did fuck two guys at one time, which gets us to a disturbing freeway proposal that in no way ends well. You feel sorry for both Banky and Alyssa during that scene, and it ends so heartbreakingly with Alyssa with a new girlfriend saying, "Oh, that's just some guy I know," when she runs into Holden a year later. Chasing Amy is such a fantastic film because it is a rare, brutal, and honest film about relationships. Sleepless in Seattle, this ain't. Holden falls in love with a lesbian, but completely forgets that at the end of the day, she is still a lesbian. I've been Holden in some instances. I've had my heart shattered. I'll go as far as to say that Chasing Amy is my favorite romantic comedy of all time. I seriously kicked myself that I didn't watch this more times than I did. Chasing Amy is Kevin Smith's most critically acclaimed film, to the point that this film was inducted into the Criterion Collection. This film for sure is definitely a 5-star film. Be sure to like, comment, share, spread the word of New Realms Media. Follow me on all my socials at New Realms Media. Until then, I'll see you next time.